Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Star Seeds and Lightworkers Collective here on Quantum Portals. My name is Crystal, and tonight we have a returning favorite, Miss Bec Koop. She is the founder and owner of Vibrational Transcendance, and it is a company that she started in Michigan, I think Kalamazoo, Michigan, right? And she basically offers many different modalities of healing. She helps people with Reiki and plant medicine and somatic healing and sound healing. And she's coming back tonight because at the beginning of the month, we did a presentation with her on the Egyptian Blue Lotus. And she talked to us about its importance in ancient Egyptian mythology and in its religion and cosmology. And tonight we are actually going to be taking part in an actual a Blue Lotus Egyptian tea ceremony. So for those of you who ordered your kit, just to sort of go over your kit, so we have here the first page that you received, which is an explanation as to about the flower and what it was about. And here on the second page, you have the actual teas. So for some of you, especially the ones in the States, you probably got your tea or your blue flower, corn flower, butterfly tea, pea flower, and your blue lotus together. And you also received another spiced berry tea along with it. If you're here in Canada, you just basically got this exact page. And what's on it here is we have the lemon and we have two little lemon, the honey, and we have the two little lemon packets. And that will help you to sweeten and to enhance your tea and your experience. And then we also have here, we have this prayer, which is usually said to Nefertem, who is the god of the Blue Lotus. And we're going to be talking, we spoke about Nefertem last time, but we'll talk a little bit more about him today. And I have my kettle and I have my kit, as you can see here. So I will let Bec take over and we can talk a little bit more about the ceremony that we'll be doing tonight. So Bec, how are you doing tonight?
Hello, dear friends. Great to see you again, Crystal. Thank you for having me back on the show. I
Sure.
sincerely appreciate you and this lovely opportunity just to continue to deepen the wisdom and knowledge and magic behind Blue Lotus tea. It's one of my favorites.
Exactly. And one of the things that's very interesting, and I mean, the tea, the Blue Lotus tea that was sent out, and people can also pick it up as well. But one of the things that we talked about last time was that it can has certain effects on people's psyche, and so we definitely want to sort of put a bit of a caution for people. If you're breastfeeding or pregnant, you may not want to participate in this particular exercise. And if you have any kind of anxiety or any kind of mental health issues, you might also want to consider not participating. So just because it affects you at the psychological level. But did you want to sort of just walk us through again, Bec, and let us know what we're going to be looking at tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely on some of the slides before we actually get to the tea consumption part, we'll
Sure.
talk about some of these details. Another important consideration too is if anybody is on sleep medication, just because this does definitely bring on some deeply relaxing, even borderline hypnotic feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So we just want to make sure that we are honoring the mind and the body. So if you do normally take those, this might be a nice replacement for your typical sleep medicine,
Okay.
or it might not be the best day to try it. Just putting those little words of wisdom out there, but you know your body. We just suggest not mixing the two would be our recommendation, please.
Okay,
But yeah,
great.
I'm just excited to share the magic of Blue Lotus. It's been a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful plant medicine for me to get to journey with and experience and to share with others.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really fun and beautiful to get to share it in this very wonderful virtual setting with everybody. And,
Mm-hmm.
for those who did get their kits, I know I've got a couple here in the local area that got
Mm-hmm.
theirs, and we
Mm-hmm.
have some fellow friends up in Canada
Yeah.
that got theirs. And then, some of our other friends who might be on here or listening later
Mm-hmm.
that are picking up some of their own, it's
Mm-hmm.
a beautiful plant, and I'm happy to make the introduction to it for some of you for the first time.
Okay, great. So we'll get started with, I guess, your slide presentation, and then we can take it from there.
Beautiful.
Okay, great.
All right. So, the my path and what led me to Blue Lotus this lifetime is I have endured a lot of trauma throughout my life, and so as a result, I have been seeking a lot of various types of healing modalities. I really truly feel that healing is not just one straight line or just one modality that works for everybody. So I felt that on my healing journey, it was really important for me to find a lot of different ways to incorporate healing, whether that is through natural medicine, through visualization, meditations, breath work, sound, all of these different things. And I really learned that, even different traumas require different types of healing vibrations, literally. So, you know, don't limit yourself. Be willing to try something new because sometimes healing can come in unexpected forms or from an unexpected plant ally that you never knew was going to be one of your greatest saviors down the road. I started working with like the shamanic faith and just like doing a lot of shamanic work when I was 16. And that's really also just made me a big believer in the spirit world, the spirit world, the non-natural world, the natural world, and everything in between. And I've, had journeys with other types of plant medicine along my way, but I was first introduced to Blue Lotus back in 2020, and when I first experienced it, it felt like a reconnection with the plant rather than a official introduction. It felt like it unlocked some different things deep within my psyche and within, this mental realm, but also in my heart space. And I really just found profound visions, and not only in my waking world, but through Kundalini visions while doing breath work and meditations, but also even in the dream space. And, I've always been a dork over the dream world, and the Blue Lotus is definitely a really nice activator for the dream world. And then I've also, my whole life, I've had a huge allure and interest in Egypt specifically. And so, I've been intrigued with the mystery schools, with Isis. And so, of course, I wanted to learn about what plant medicine was important to them. So it was very shortly after having my first Blue Lotus experience that I actually decided to get my own like master ceremonious training in flower tea training and sacred cacao, and just really learning how to incorporate the medicinal alchemy and benefits of so many of these different magical plants. So it's been a lot of fun, and I'm certainly very grateful to have this beautiful plant as part of my tool and my toolkit for mental health and but also for deep relaxation and other things.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. And would you say that, especially when it comes to someone that's dealt with trauma, that this is something that helps you to, I guess, I mean, I don't know, we'll find out tonight, but it sort of helps you to sort of see with outside of yourself, like how in your particular case, I know you've been particular trauma, and like I've often said with people who come on the show as guests, one of the things that I'm starting to see as a pattern is a lot of people go through hell and through fire. It seems to be something that we all go through. If you really look at all the people that have come on the show, we've all been through hell. And but at the same time, we come through baptism by fire, and then we are renewed, we are reborn. I know you mentioned that it helped you. Could you say there's something in particular that it helped you with? I know certain plant medicines maybe take you on a further journey, like if you're doing any kind of like ayahuasca or that sort of thing. But in terms of the Blue Lotus, how was it helping you in your particular case? You know?
Sure. I think one of the things that's really nice about Blue Lotus in particular is that it can, in a very tasteful, good way, it almost can help numb out and block out some of the other stuff going on in your
Mm-hmm.
world. So it can allow you to really go internal back into the safe space within yourself. So when the outside world is scary or you're dealing with a lot of exterior stressors,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the safest place is to go internal. And especially
Mm-hmm.
if you can calm that internal dialogue and get yourself into a place where you're reconnected with your heart and you're reconnected with your breath, it can really make a huge difference. A lot of people don't realize how powerful those tools are. And, really, when you can get your mind and your heart to like, and your breath to all come into coherence and into a harmony with each other, that's when your whole outer world can come into harmony as well. And
Mm-hmm.
especially, Blue Lotus in particular was like always known for helping kind of knock the edge off.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why, to some extent, it was seen as a party drug, which we'll go into a little bit later.
Yeah.
Not drug, but a party plant,
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact that, it did. It just helped kind of knock the edge off of the outer experiences in the world
Mm-hmm.
and allowed you to feel a little bit more free
Mm-hmm.
and not just your waking world, but in the dream world. And that's
Okay.
why like it's so revered, especially in the dream space.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially if you're having a hard time sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
this can be a really nice one, which is why it's kind of cool to be able to have this experience before we get to go to bed this evening so that we're all, setting ourselves up mentally even for a nice restful dream state, but
Mm-hmm.
hopefully a vast, expansive, fun, lucid dreaming, go jump on the
Mm-hmm.
Milky Way kind of dream
Yeah.
night.
Absolutely. And I know that in many different cultures, the dream world is actually seen as the waking world. It's this world right now that we're actually dreaming. But when we go into the dream, that's when we're really real. And that's when we're really, really experiencing. So I can see why that would have been very important to the Egyptians. You know what I mean? It's,
For sure.
yeah. All right.
Well, especially,
Mm-hmm.
like many people believe that, all of your outer world starts with your inner world and with your dream world. If
Mm-hmm.
you think it, you see it, you can, like, if you see it in your mind, you can see it in your future, you can
Mm-hmm.
see it in reality. So, like, again, the more that we can tap into our inner world and make it a safe space and curate it with the right intentions and the right thought processes and desires and dreams, the more that there's a higher likelihood of them coming to fruition in the real world. So
Mm-hmm.
let's dream big, friends,
Yeah.
let's make magic. I'm all about
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. So before we start, what are we looking at exactly?
Yeah, before we start, I would really encourage people to turn off any exterior distractions. I personally, I lit a candle in my space. I
Mm-hmm.
would love if anybody would like to set a candle or burn some incense just to kind of like really call in the intention to this time and space together.
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever you need to do to go ahead and get yourself a little cozy and comfy.
Mm-hmm.
I personally have a little blanket wrapped over my legs. I'm wearing a nice comfy hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, I'm here to feel good in my mind and my body.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like when we're thinking about setting our intention,
Mm-hmm.
our theme for tonight is all about awakening your intuition and your inner vision. So, even go ahead and just take a moment and think about like what psychic gifts might you want to try to bring online tonight or in the next bit of time as you continue to work with your spirit team.
Mm-hmm.
And what would you like to bring from the dream space into reality? Those are just, again, not just like far-fetched dreams. I mean, like put
Mm-hmm.
them within your dream space because then they're closer to your reality space.
Mm-hmm.
And something I would also recommend, please, is to go ahead and snag a journal or some pieces of paper. And then also at the end, I will definitely suggest for anybody to do a little bit of an art project on their own
Mm-hmm.
because it's really nice to be able to tap into the creativity that comes from opening up your third eye and
Mm-hmm.
really allowing yourself to blossom open.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be definitely my suggestions for you. And
Mm-hmm.
I always like to set sacred space by calling in the directions.
Mm-hmm.
So I can personally stand up and turn around and face the different directions
Sure.
as I'm calling it in.
Mm-hmm.
You may do the same, or you can just close your eyes, listen to the words, and direct your energy towards the different directions.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever is comfortable for you in this moment, you do you.
Okay.
But I'm going to actually stand up
Okay.
and turn towards the south. So, to the winds of the south, great serpent, show us the peaceful way to release anything that is no longer serving our highest good in this time. Thank you for allowing us to connect here with the element of the fire, allowing us to alchemize and transform anything that is no longer serving from one form to another, and allowing us to be reborn and transformed, just like the mighty phoenix rising from the ashes. We thank you to the winds of the south. And now we turn towards the west. The winds of the west. Mother Jaguar, thank you for teaching us to walk with bravery and courage through the great unknown. Thank you for allowing us to believe that the void is not just full of emptiness, yet it is full of infinite possibilities beyond our wildest imagination. But also here, we thank you for allowing us to connect with the element of water, just like the lily itself, the magical blue lotus that comes from the greatest darky depths all the way back up to the surface to open one blossom at a time, one petal at a time to the great sun above, with new freshness, clarity, and a pure perspective. We thank you to the winds and the waters of the west. And to the north now. To the winds of the north, to the hummingbird, to those who came before us and those who will come after us. We thank you for teaching us to fly with joy, purpose, and passion under our wings. We also thank you for teaching us to know when to hover and to observe our surroundings, or even when to reverse out of situations that are no longer in alignment with us. Here we also connect with the element of the air, and we remember that it is no longer our job to fight the storms, but instead it is our job to embrace the changing winds with more grace and more ease, just as the mini but mighty hummingbird does, knowing that it is our job to fly in the direction that we are divinely destined to. And here we thank the winds, the air, and the winds of the north. To the east, to the winds of the east, to the eagle, to the condor. Thank you for taking us under your wing and teaching us how to fly wingtip to wingtip with the great spirit above. We thank you for allowing us to also remain connected with the element of earth underneath our feet, knowing that as sometimes when we walk through the woods, it's hard to see the entire forest. But when we look up to the skies above and we see our feathered friends, whether they are birds or they are angels, they are signs from source that we are indeed exactly on the right path and exactly where we are meant to be, because they can see the whole big picture with a bird's eye view. So they are giving us the gentle nods from the universe that we are exactly on our path where we are meant to be. We thank you to the winds of the east. We take our hands towards the sky. Father Sky, Mother Moon, Divine Source, the one of many names, yet the nameless. All of our guides, goddesses, past loved ones, teachers, we thank you all for being here with us and allowing us to create this sacred space wherever we may be listening to this transmission, allowing us to be activated deep within our souls, and allowing any messages to come through, whether it is through tonight's ceremony or in our dream space in the evening or in even the days that are yet to come, knowing that this Blue Lotus will help us tap into our intuition, allowing us to receive these sacred messages, and we thank you for those messages coming through with clarity. We appreciate you for allowing us to create this time and space here. And if you'll take a hand to the floor, we thank Pachamama, Mama Gaia, for keeping us rooted and grounded as we do this deep healing work tonight. We also thank all of the beautiful hands for all of the individuals that helped get this Blue Lotus to our teacups and then to our mouths and then to our hearts and third eyes this evening. We thank you for allowing us to stay rooted and grounded as we do this work, but also knowing that anything that we need to shed can be released to Great Mama Core, Great Mama Earth's core, knowing that she's the alchemizer and that she's capable of taking anything that no longer serves, allowing it to be transformed into new life and abundance that would serve the greater good of all. So feel free to release and know that you are divinely protected and supported from the heavens above and from underneath your feet from Mama Gaia as we create our own sacred bubble in this time and space continuum to create your personal sanctuary here and now. Thank you, Mama Gaia. And then if you'll wrap yourself in a big old hug, because everybody needs a big hug now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and thank your higher self for being here now. Thank your spirit team for supporting you on this journey and all of the steps that have taken you to arrive at this present moment. We thank you and we honor you, and we are excited to share this sacred time with you. So without further ado, with my love and my heart opening to yours, nothing but love, my friend. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for that. And I know that I was definitely jumping up and down trying to get that done. And I'm going to just ring all that in with a singing bowl, just to sort of ring that in. So 3 times.
And before we start, as you feel this final vibration moving through you, I invite you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and breathe in through the nose, and slowly exhale out the mouth. Feel the energy of the earth rising up through your body, grounding you in this present moment. And with each inhale, draw in peace. And with each exhale, release anything that is not serving your highest good in this moment. And after a conscious breath, you can gently begin to flutter your eyes open, coming back to us. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And so now I think we can look at a brief history on the Blue Lotus ceremonies. Maybe we can sort of look. So for those of us who were not here, if you weren't here last time, let's go through a quick, brief understanding of the Blue Lotus and its beginnings in ancient Egypt.
Perfect. So the scientific name is Nephalia caerulea. I always have a hard time. It's a tongue twister, but it has been revered for thousands of years. It's most infamously known in the Greek mythology and lore and mystery schools, but it also spread to many other beautiful places around the world, honestly. And it has always been symbolized as creation, rebirth, and spiritual awakening. You've seen it in a lot of beautiful old sacred art, whether that is in carvings or in tombs. And it was even taken into like the afterlife by many of the like Egyptian higher priestesses and pharaohs and everything. It was literally so revered that they wanted it in every timeline and every lifeline. So, and that's because it does. It really helps open the heart, elevate your consciousness, and connect us with the divine, but also connect us with our own inner divine, which is just as important as connecting with the outside world. And beyond Egypt, you know, it was like seen more in the East to really help us tap in with more meditation and lucid dreaming and deeper states of awareness. And you know, it was known as like the plant of pleasure, but of altered states as well. So that's really kind of fun to have something that allows you to gently still slip into another dimension, and then also to gently come back. It's not an abrupt, scary situation like some other plant medicines might pose to be. And not saying that ayahuasca is scary, because it might not be for everybody, but some people it might have some eye-opening
Yeah.
experiences. And but whereas Blue Lotus is always known to be a bit more gentle and to support the intuition and the dream work and the inner journeying, while allowing us to have the sacred container within us so that we feel safe and like full and pure during the whole experience. And
Hmm.
it's actually a lily that was first discovered in the Nile River area, which is why it was so tightly tied to Egypt specifically. And then it later spread to the Middle East and even to Asia. So, the Greeks loved it. A lot of the common blue lotus that you find on the market today is being grown in Thailand and Sri Lanka.
Hmm.
So, it's not only just from Egypt. So, but
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay, that's great.
kind of a
And
fun history.
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah. So basically, it has its beginnings, and are there particular? Do you know if there are particular, you know, ceremonies or processes that they use the Blue Lotus for exactly? Like I know we're using it tonight in terms of the actual Blue Lotus ceremony that we're doing tonight. But was it just for, because you were saying how before people see it as like a party drug, and it shouldn't be seen as that. It should be seen as more of a doorway to another world within yourself, within your higher self. What other aspects was the Blue Lotus used for in ancient Egypt? Do you know?
Yeah, so as I had mentioned, the reason why it was deemed a party drug is
Mm-hmm.
because how it knocks off the edge, which can make people more social, can make people more willing to connect with their community, even more willing to connect with their deeper selves. It's also an aphrodisiac.
Mm-hmm.
So both when it is consumed as a tea, but also specifically when it is smoked.
Mm-hmm.
It can induce some of those sexy time feelings, even if you smell it in its essential oil form. It is very sweet and very pleasant smelling. And it was even often used as perfumes.
Mm-hmm.
So, on like our next slide, we talk about the consumption and preparation of
Mm-hmm.
it. It was really used in so many different beautiful ways
Mm-hmm.
to really enhance your experiences. It was not meant to like take it and knock you out and send you to the dream world immediately. It was kind of
Mm-hmm.
meant to help you find that middle ground right before sleep, which is why it
Okay.
is so tied to that altered consciousness. Like when you're in that theta brainwave,
Yeah.
that's the same brainwave that you're in when you're in a deep meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And, that can often be really hard for people to achieve dropping in the theta,
Mm-hmm.
because our brains are often like running so fast and so
Mm-hmm.
far, and we're dealing with all of our exterior world, that sometimes it's really hard to tap into our inner world. So, like it was revered because it literally allowed you to kind of like put on your like little sacred
Yeah.
earphones, if you will, and like
Well, to just turn
literally
your head
block,
off. Well, just to turn your
yeah,
head
like
off.
to
You know what I
block
mean?
out,
Yeah.
yeah, to block out a lot of the other drama that's going on in your world so that
Mm-hmm.
you can go on this inner journey. And so that's why it was so revered, was because it did allow people to tune in rather than tune out,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting is that you mentioned that, and I was actually going to point that out as well, is that it's that theta wave state, because you'd also mentioned that it's also a way in order to bring your dreams or bring the thing that you want to manifest, because what they're finding, the science is finding, is that when you're in a theta brainwave state, you're in a state where you can actually manifest. This is the state where you can actually bring things into fruition, into the universe, into existence. And so that's when you can do your best work for what it is that you want to achieve and to bring out into your own three-dimensional reality. So I think that when you turn off your brain and you turn off all the drama and all the noise, and your head is clear, which is what you get from a good meditation, you can then get insight. And I think that's also a big thing too. So if you have questions and you say, I have this problem at work, or I have this problem in my personal life, or I have problem, stuff, whatever I'm trying to deal with. When you're in a calm theta state, you are far away from all the noise and disruptions. And that's when you can actually get answers, not only from your higher self, but from the universe as well. And if you want to talk, even take it to the next level and say the Akashic Records, you can get all that information because you're going to be a free, clear channel for all of that. I mean, I'm not sure how you feel about that, but
Oh, I'm in total agreement with it. I mean, and a lot of people, when they're using it with the intention of doing it for dream work purposes, like to intentionally lucid dream, to intentionally astral travel, I mean, all both of those are so much about setting your intention before you go to bed. And so, again, like, if you can see things in the dream world, you're more likely to see them in your reality, in your waking reality. So, why not set the intention of what you want to dream about? What you want to call into fruition. What questions do you want answers to? And ask the universe, ask your guides to give you those in your dream space. You can ask for literal examples, or you can ask for metaphorical examples, and you'd be amazed at how truly reactive and how much your dream space wants to work with you. And the more that you work with your dream space, the more it's going to be easier to connect with it. And, so like I really, really suggest, especially when like working with Blue Lotus, have a dream journal. Even if you wake up and you literally only write the color blue and a path, that's great. Maybe later in the day, you might have another aha moment and be like, oh, I remember seeing this. Go write that down.
okay.
And it might not make sense in this literal moment, but that's kind of the fun of manifesting in the dream space is doesn't have to make total sense right now. It might make more sense in a week or in 2 weeks or even in a month. And then you're like, oh my God, those four unrelated things. Now suddenly the dots are all connected. It's,
Yeah.
it's like you made a constellation in your mind. And it's really a beautiful thing. So,
Yeah.
allow the medicine to work in the ways that it's going to. It is far more subtle than like some other plant medicines.
Yeah.
So, but that's the beauty of it
Yeah.
at the same time.
And here at the bottom of the slide says it has psychoactive alkaloid that can have a slightly hypnotic feel and inner exchange of inner knowing. And one of the things that I find interesting about the whole thing is that, yes, there's the psychoactive component, but I think similar to what we were talking about just a moment ago is that you can use it to enhance your meditation as well.
Absolutely.
You don't have to sort of go flying off with, Lucy in the sky with diamonds, nothing like that. But like, I mean, that'd be great. Sure, why not? But like, I mean, it's more to do with just, tamping down the noise and enhancing your meditation. But at the same time, I think to myself, not to use it as a crutch every time, but it just to sort of help you to sort of, every once in a while you need a little bit of a help in getting to that level. And I think maybe that's where that could help. You know what I mean?
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, and so it's what I see from my personal experiences that like I really, because it will open up the third eye and the intuition, like I really personally like to either listen to a sound bath because I will feel like the vibrations of the different instruments just resonate in different ways with my mind and my body. Also, I love to do artwork afterwards because like it's like the creative juices turn on. And it's just like how you get 1,000 ideas right as you're on the brink of falling asleep and you're like, oh my God, I need to go write all of these down. Like that is kind of this beautiful, magical space that it helps to drop you into. And so it really does. It opens the mind while allowing you to feel a bit euphoric, feel a little blissed out. But, when you're in those higher, literally higher frequencies and higher states of consciousness, that's when you can tap in with higher source and your higher guides,
Yeah.
when we're like running on like low level energy, sometimes it can be really hard because to connect with like our higher self and with like our guides, because it's like you have to push through so much extra muck when it's
Yeah.
so dense at
Yeah. Well,
like when you're
three
feeling really
D. You know.
Yep, exactly. So,
Yeah.
the more that you can elevate yourself personally, sometimes with some of these added tools, sometimes it can really allow for a deeper experience.
Okay, great. So in terms now about the mind body connection,
Yeah.
what are we looking at here exactly?
Yeah. So this was definitely all about like getting your third eye and your crown chakras in alignment, for yourself and opening those up, but also connecting with source. So it was really meant to help you tap in with other realms. A lot of people even believed not only could you speak with gods, goddesses, but also it was considered a very powerful tool for speaking with the dead. So ancient mediums would even utilize this as a tool to connect with the dead. And it's actually funny, I even pulled a card out of my Isis deck,
Mm-hmm.
and it was all about proper burial for freedom. And it's the Lord of the Dead, the Sacrifice of Osiris card. And I'll
Okay.
go into more like depth reading of that a little bit later, but it is like a very powerful tool for connecting beyond this time and space.
Mm-hmm.
But it also can allow you to trust your mind and your body a bit more because of it's knocking off that edge and that judgment factor. It can also instill happiness and euphoric feelings. That's why, like, again, I like listening to sound baths specifically because all of a sudden you're like, I didn't know I loved that instrument so much. And then all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden you feel like giggly from a certain vibration. And, from the creativity perspective, it allows you to tap into your imagination and let those juices flow because it's allowing you to get out of the feeling of being stuck and like allows you to move through stagnancy. And often when we're running our lives in so much repetition, it's easy to kind of get stuck in a rut. And so this can kind of help pull us out of the rut and allow us to set a new groove. But it also allows us just to tap into this space that we rarely get to tap into unless we're intentionally going into that
Mm-hmm.
meditative theta brainwave. So,
Yeah.
and it is meant to help us believe that we are capable of connecting with the unknown and with the
Mm-hmm.
great infinite void, but releasing fear around that. Because again, like I said, even in calling in the directions, a lot of people tend to think that the great void is a place of fear or because it's a place of unknown. But what if it's a place of everything and it's just so much magic waiting to be tapped in, all of this beautiful potential?
Mm-hmm.
And, if you're afraid to see it, you might have those blinders on. But if you're willing to put on your courage pants and, step up to the challenge, you might be surprised at what's on the other side of the veil.
Okay. And what's interesting is you mentioned that the Blue Lotus is related to the third eye. And I think in ancient Egypt, it's the eye of Horus, which is the eye of the
Hmm.
Wejat. In turn, it also helps to enhance perception. It's also a sense of protection as an amulet, but also in
Yeah.
terms of enhancing perception. And I think that that's something in particular that we're looking at is that it opens you up, your third eye, to have more
Yeah.
perception into things that are other than just this 3D reality. So that's kind of interesting. And I think also it encourages to a higher level of consciousness and help to reduce fear. So yeah, for sure. So like I mean, it's definitely because I think one of the things that is often associated with traveling outside of oneself is the fear of what you're going to find, the fear, like you said, of the
Mhm.
unknown, but it's fear of what you're going to find. But I think it's also in this Western culture. I think we just haven't been trained enough in the Western culture to deal with that. But in other cultures, that's not really the case, especially not in like Native, for example, Native American cultures or Eastern cultures. It's about facing your fears. It's about facing those. I mean, not demons, but like I mean, facing that which is challenging you. You know what I mean? It's just a cultural perspective. I think. You know.
I would totally agree. And one thing that, like, I've heard from many great teachers along the way is, often like when our experience will often put us in a certain box.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really difficult to look beyond that box sometimes because, we see where all of our former boundaries have laid and been placed for us. But, that's why sometimes it can be very intimidating to try to think about stepping outside of that box. But,
Excuse me.
if you have something that is a gentle tool that is just like, hey, I'll let you step out, put your toes out, but then I'll bring you back
Mm-hmm.
nice and gently as I let you into it, it can take away a lot of that fear. And, I've also been told by many mentors is, when we're living in that box mentality, sometimes like it actually like puts a limit on how far we can stretch our wings, stretch our potential.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're really thinking that this is only as good as it can get, well, no, like change the script of
Yeah.
not this is only as good as it can get, change it to how good can it get?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, if you're asking for a salary that's only this much, how awesome would it be if somebody wants to offer you even better salary that was
Exactly.
above and beyond what your box thinking
Mm-hmm.
had,
Mm-hmm.
So, like, open yourself up to the infinite potential because you don't know what's there and it
Yeah.
might be better than what you even were dreaming of. So,
Yeah.
let the dream world, let your spirit guides, let your higher self take you to those places and show you
Mm-hmm.
beyond what you think is potentially possible.
Yeah. And I know that, for example, when Graham Hancock wrote his book, I have it here actually, Supernatural, and he was basing that on his ayahuasca travels. One of the things that he was saying is that, and I mean, look, people can take it how they want to, but he's saying that we really should in this society learn how to work more with plants because it really we don't know the abilities or what's outside, like you said, outside the box, outside the 3D reality. And it doesn't mean blasting off into space, but it just means having more of a spiritual perception that is not just, like you said, just the job and the life and that's there's a lot more to that. And people can read that book. I actually have it right here. And it's Supernatural by Graham Hancock. And it's quite interesting, and he talks about it, and he'd say, I think we would be better off as people if we had those kinds of workings with plant medicine, because I think we'd be more in-depth people. Our understanding of the world around us would be a lot more profound. You know what I mean? So I think that sort of says it all. Yeah. So moving on, so what about the health benefits of the Blue Lotus?
Absolutely. No, and I love Graham Hancock, so everybody needs to go pick
Yeah.
up that book or go to listen to a podcast, anything on him.
Yeah.
Phenomenal info from that genius.
Yeah, he is a genius. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's most revered for pleasure, inspiration, and altered states. Those are fun qualities. But, also from a more medicinal perspective, it is a antioxidant. It is anti-inflammatory. It can enhance the libido and enhance the mood. It helps with falling asleep, especially when your, exterior world is run, run, run. It can really help just slow you down and bring you in. And that's how it allows you to connect with the dream world. But it was huge in Egyptian mystery schools, specifically with women, because it really helped with menstrual time,
Oh God.
with
Sing it,
like
sister.
PMS. Girl, let me tell
You
you,
know?
helps with, and even now, because I have endometriosis,
Yeah.
like I have very severe cramps and a lot of discomfort, like leading up to my lady time and during it. And once I realized that that also helped as like an antispasmic, for my uterus, it was a game changer. So, like, I have definitely tapped into it for that medicinal quality to help get me through some of those brutal times, but it also helps calm the nervous system. So if
Oh.
you were dealing with trauma or if you were dealing with just stress of life, when we're running in fight or flight, like you're weakening your entire immune system.
Yes, absolutely.
So, if you have something that's a tool in your toolkit to actually help bring your whole mind and body into coherence and into a
Exactly.
better balance,
Yeah.
you're helping all of your life, far more beyond what you would
Mm-hmm.
expect. So,
Absolutely.
um,
And
but then from,
oh,
oh, go
sorry.
ahead.
But you know what? But also one of the big things is that it's the whole idea about, and I want to sort of point that out because you brought it up, the whole idea about being in coherence with your body. One of the things that's one of the biggest challenges in this society right now with all the influx of information, and we're being bombarded and we're out of sync with who we are, and it's affecting our health, and stress is the killer. Stress above all, yes, the cancer and this, okay, but you know what? You get a lot of your cancers and all that kind of stuff from stress. That's the thing that people don't understand. Stress will lead to cancer. Stress will lead to diabetes. Stress will lead to, you know,
Everything.
everything, at least
Yeah.
everything. And so, but at the same time, taking antidepressants and adding more drugs and all that stuff to your body just doesn't help. And it didn't. I find that, right now people are really starting to rediscover the plants and say, okay, maybe this is a better option as opposed to pumping my body full of drugs. You know what I mean?
I couldn't agree more. And,
Mm-hmm.
the way I really look at it is that with all the different ailments in the world, Mama Gaia is so bountiful of all of these different remedies, so it's a matter of finding what different remedy is out there that might be able to help you with what you're dealing with. And there probably is a natural solution for a lot of different things. I'm not saying that it's a cure-all, but I am saying that, like, Mama Gaia works in beautiful, mysterious, magical ways that, go contact a local herbalist. Go explore different realms beyond pharma, because you might be surprised that you can find some magic, literally like the, magical Blue Lotus that was lurking at the bottom of a lake bed that needed to push through all the crap
Mm-hmm.
to come up through all the way up to the surface. And, let that be a metaphor for life that,
Exactly.
we all have to go through sometimes dark, murky times to be able
Yeah.
to rise back up to the occasion and
Mm-hmm.
to shine brightly, and to open up more full, because sometimes, if we live a sheltered life, we stay in this tiny little bubble, and sometimes we have to go through some of these, not so fun experiences to
Yeah.
help peel a layer
Exactly.
back, and
Yeah.
just slowly open your own inner blossom.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that's something that we're going to visualize today, is literally
Exactly.
like, how can you open your own inner lotus and, like, bring
Mm-hmm.
that into your heart space and bring that into your third eye and then up to your crown and connect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And and like I mentioned at the beginning, some of the people who are the most profound, I mean, maybe not every single person, but one of the things that I've noticed, like I've said on the show, is that a lot of people who come to the show who have learned so much from their own spiritual path and their own journey are learning through trauma, learning through a lot of things that, they're not in a perfect little box, and they are going through whatever difficulties. And it's that's what the difficulties that help you to grow and to push through. And I know it's always fun sometimes, but it seems to be the par for the course. You know what I mean?
For sure. Well, and, that's like the path of the wounded healer. And,
Exactly. Exactly.
and
Chiron, you know?
yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, 1,000%. And
Yeah.
it's a matter of, like, knowing that, like, sometimes when you look back at what I call it's like the shit list, when you
Yeah.
look back at all of the stuff you've been
Yeah.
through, you can take two mentalities on it. You can take the victim mentality,
Mm-hmm.
which might serve for a certain amount of time when you
Mm-hmm.
need to feel those feels. Or you can later, once you've done some of the work, you can embrace the warrior mentality and be like, F yeah, man, I
Yeah.
have survived all of that. I am
Exactly.
powerful. Like, if I face another obstacle that's like
Mm-hmm.
XYZ, I've already been there. I've already done that. I've already conquered that, and it can actually give you more strength and inner power to be that inner warrior, like stronger than you might even realize or give yourself credit for.
Mm-hmm.
And something when I was dealing with a lot of my traumas, when I really wanted to start to embrace as much healing as I could,
Mm-hmm.
when things just really, when my shitstorm got real big,
Yeah.
we'll say.
It was blowing
you
around.
know, right. I went to a hypnotherapist, and it
Mm-hmm.
was very interesting because the hypnotherapist, like, she sat there and she asked me, she was like, how many traumas have you been through in your life? And I was like, oh
How
dear
much time you
God.
got?
Yeah, and that literally, I did. I asked her, I was like, how much time do you have? What are we talking about? Physical, mental, emotional,
Everything?
spiritual? Like, death, heartache, like physical. I've had so many surgeries, I've had so many sports injuries. Like, what do you consider trauma?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I started to realize just how much I had overcame.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I realized that I could still be wallowing and like living and swimming in that sea of despair.
Mm-hmm.
But really, like so many of these things I had already worked and healed from and like had got my strength back and I like put my armor back on and picked up my sword again.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that I was this warrior that like could take on the world and I could take on so many of these challenges. And even now when I face like hard stuff, I do look back at to like a bunch of the stuff I've previously conquered, if you will, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, that's a culmination of XYZ and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, did it suck for a certain amount of time? Yep, sure did.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that I can get through it. And
Mm-hmm.
then that pulls back in the wounded healer is that like when you've gone through it, you can then connect with other beautiful souls
Mm-hmm.
who are on the path, the same path as you. You might just be a couple steps ahead of them, but you now might have the wisdom to be able to share with them how to get through some of those hard pinch moments.
Exactly.
And so I do feel that like, the more inner work you do,
Yeah.
the more capable you are of taking on
Mm-hmm.
these external challenges that we
Mm-hmm.
do face.
Mm-hmm.
But also the more that you can help support your community and your collective
Yeah.
and the healing you do for yourself ripples out beyond
Exactly.
just you.
Exactly.
And,
1,000%.
so
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
start with yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
trust me, it really does. It radiates to your family first, and
Mm-hmm.
then all of your friends, and then beyond and beyond and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
this
And
doing the work is essential.
mm-hmm. And also, I think from a, like from that, that's from sort of like the internal warrior aspect. In terms of the spiritual aspect, I think that when you're working with these different types of plant medicines, I think you also have a better appreciation because you've been down that road, you've been through the fire, and you've been through the hell. And so you're able to have the appreciation and you're able to have the depth, I think. I think we're circling back here, but I think it allows you to have the depth and the gravitas to say, I want more from this relationship outside. There's more to this, right? And
I totally
so
agree.
I think it definitely puts you in a different, point of view, like you said, outside the box. So, looking at certain considerations, what we should consider
Yeah.
before doing the Blue Lotus ceremony. Do you want to go through that?
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest things that we've already hit on a couple times,
Mm-hmm.
is that it can cause drowsiness.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is why it's really good for pre-sleep time. So I really, really do not encourage you to drink this tea on our call with us and then to go for a joyride. Please don't do
No.
that. Don't operate any equipment, or make any major life decisions. Wait till you've woken up tomorrow with a
No.
refreshed, renewed message from your dream space.
Exactly.
Don't go making those decisions tonight,
Okay.
okay? And then it's also not advised if, as we mentioned, if you're pregnant or if you're breastfeeding or trying to get pregnant, just because, there's not been enough study and research to fully support if it can have any counter effects. So if you
Okay.
are pregnant, take care of that precious little baby inside of you, please.
Okay.
Also, like, as we mentioned, it is not ideal to combine with different types of medications. So just please keep that in mind that, whether you choose to imbibe in this at a different point when you can put your other medication on hold or do it as a replacement, maybe for a sleep medication just for one night, see how that goes for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just words of the wise. And then don't be like the Greeks. Do not mix it with your wine.
No.
They used to back in the day, and they also used to do a lot of other crazy things that we
Yeah, they
do
didn't
not
have to go to that 9 to 5 the
recommend.
next day. So, probably,
Exactly.
yeah.
So, for our words of wisdom and precautions, we are going to suggest please do not mix it with alcohol this
No,
evening.
not at all.
So, yeah,
Okay.
and the next slide, we'll kind of talk about the duration, and then we're going to talk about how to make it, and then we'll start to get into that part of the fun side
Okay,
of the
great.
ceremony.
So let's go
So,
ahead.
on our next slide, we're talking about the duration. So, the effects of the tea itself can last anywhere between 2 to 3 hours and often takes anywhere between 10 and 30 minutes to kick in. And that's with a typical average serving of 1 to 2 tablespoons of the actual Blue Lotus petals themselves. So that could be the petals, the stamens, a combination of both. Some of you might have your Blue Lotus in just strictly petal form already.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, you might have them in a full flower form.
Yeah,
So
that's
if
the one we
so, go
sent
ahead.
out. Yeah.
Yep. So if it's in full flower form at
Mm-hmm.
this time, I personally like to suggest going ahead and breaking it up so that it's going to be easier for you to put in your little tea bag or your steeping tool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and other ingredients that I recommend is some people do feel that this tea and the combination of the Blue Lotus with the butterfly PT can
Mm-hmm.
taste a bit more earthy or even potentially kind of on the bitter side.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like those natural flavors. Other people like to enhance it with honey.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know that you typically like a little sweetness, take a moment and go snag some honey. Not a bad thing. And then also it's really important that like what we're going to do is we're going to allow our Blue Lotus to actually steep for about 10 minutes. So we'll prep it and then we'll, as it's prepping, we'll do a little bit of breath work and some other internal stuff, and
Okay.
then we'll get ready to consume it. But one other thing that is a really core ingredient or essential ingredient to this is lemon.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would grab your lemon or lemon juice and
Mm-hmm.
just have it prepared, but
Mm-hmm.
do not, please, please, please do not add it to your tea until you are prompted, because there's a little bit of magic and alchemy behind that. So
Okay.
if you will just have patience on adding the lemon.
Mm-hmm.
But that is kind of the duration of how we are going to consume it tonight. Like if people were to decide that they wanted to smoke a little bit of it, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's mixed with cannabis, sometimes it is mixed with like catnip or other smokable herbs.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, if so, then it like kicks in immediately, but the duration of it is like way shorter. It's like 30 minutes to an hour at most.
Mm-hmm.
So just depends on kind of how fast, how long, what kind of intense, excuse me, what kind of intensity you're seeking.
Mm-hmm.
And then also like during this time, go ahead and get that water boiling.
Yeah.
So that we are prepared, but like when we are actually going to be putting it over our tea leaf or our tea petals,
Mm-hmm.
we don't want it to actually be boiling. We just want it to be really hot.
Okay.
So just
Okay,
words of
great.
wisdom.
Okay, so just to sort of get back to the kit, I've just started boiling my water right here. Now, in the kit you have here, especially if you're here in Canada, because and the reason why I mention that is because in the United States it's actually kind of hard to get it through. Just as I mean, I'm oh my god, I'm revealing a lot here. I want to go to jail. But
Customs. We'll just say customs is brutal,
it's
girl.
brutal.
Customs is brutal.
It's so
So,
brutal. Sorry, the noise with the kettle. Sorry, but so in for the Americans who bought the kit, they have the pea flower and the Blue Lotus mixed together, and it's all together with honey. Oddly enough, that's like I mean I went through this, jump through hoops, but so you already have honey and your pea flower, but you do have an extra packet of honey here. And instead of lemon juice, you have the lemon crystals. And that's nice because it allows you to just sort of like sprinkle in and to sort of have like the alchemy take place, slowly but surely. So you do have everything here in your kit. Now, I did provide people with the actual full flower, the full flower. Do I just put that in a cup? The full flower?
um,
Do you want to just sort of clarify that?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's totally up to, I like to break the flower itself apart and then put the petals and then like all of the pieces
Mm-hmm.
into either a reusable tea bag or a
Okay.
reusable steeper spoon. So I
Excuse me.
personally have a steeper spoon, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my hot
Mm-hmm.
water and get my cup going.
Okay.
And the cup I chose for today is "Let the Adventure Begin," my
Okay,
friends.
great.
Um,
Okay,
so yeah,
perfect.
I'm just gonna pour in my water and I'm gonna
Yeah.
prompt everybody to do the same.
Okay.
So
So we'll just take a moment to sort of just chat a bit. I'm going to just sort of put the kettle back on because it's a bit noisy. But I just want to remind everyone this Friday we're having our little Halloween special. And we're going to be having Melissa McQuillan coming back to the show to talk about her experiences growing up in a haunted house. So that's going to be fun. But before that, we're going to be having Our most loved members, Kevin Estrella and Angela Levasseur, talking about the concert that Kevin played at. He is going to be playing at the Gate Night, which is a tribute to Ozzy Osbourne. And we were supposed to be in Toronto at this time, but it just didn't work out. But he is going to be playing at that show, and I think that people can still attend that show. It's at 54 Dundas East, I think, in Toronto, Ontario. I know a large portion of our group is in Toronto, so you can check that out. And on Friday, we will be starting at 7 p.m. on Friday, and we will be speaking with Kevin Estrella and Angela Levasseur to talk about his show, his concert, his music, and talk about how his music is influenced by his own spiritual experiences and also by his experiences with extraterrestrial presence. The Ponte in particular, the group the Ponte, he is in constant contact with the Ponte. And so he's talking about how that has affected his music and how it has inspired him for his group, Pyramids on Mars. And so please join us this Friday, the 31st at 7 p.m., 7 to 8 p.m., to meet and talk with Kevin and Angela. And as some of you know, Angela's been on the show many times before, and she's just so lovely. And she's going to be interviewing him for our presentation. And so it'd be nice to have you there and to sort of encourage him and to, sort of support our own. And then at 8 o'clock, we will be starting with the true Halloween special. And we're talking with Melissa McQuillan, who grew up in a haunted house in Orono, Ontario, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what it's called. And if you've had experiences with growing up in a haunted house or any kind of haunted type of experiences, let us know. Send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're going to be there that night, you're going to be able to share with us and share some of the experiences that you've had, because it's funny because we think that it's all Hollywood. But I'm actually surprised that when I meet people, a lot of people have grown up with any kind of, experiences. I know I did. And a lot, yeah, you too, yeah. And it was actually at first it was more family, and I was kind of like, oh, I think that there's certain family members that were following us around or certain kinds of things. And I remember as a child when we would move to a different apartment, it would be okay for a while, and then after a while it would just sort of I could feel that presence coming back, and so we were sort of followed around from place to place with a particular presence. I'm still not sure what it was, but I know that later on in I'd say maybe my late 30s, early 40s. I'm dating myself. But I did a lot more spiritual work, and I learned to let go of certain things. And I think that I was able to sort of exercise whatever that was, and to sort of, because sometimes they can attach to you as well. And I think there are certain times when they attach to you, and I was able to sort of move on from that. So that's something that I worked through. But I see you're bobbing your head. Did you have some interesting experiences growing up? Yeah, you should come back on Friday.
Right. I had it was more in my adult life that I had more so than when I was a child, but I lived in a house that it turns out that there was two murders and
Oh,
several other people who died of natural causes. I was living in Colorado in a old gold mining town.
oh, okay.
And so there was already just like a lot of kind of weird energy going on there in general. But yeah, one of the houses I lived in, it was very intense. We had a very, very angry ghost that would start shaking pictures on the wall and then throw them at the ground and shatter them. And then we had plates that would start shaking on top of the stove top, and then they would shoot off in the middle of the kitchen and shatter all over the floor. And, one of the nights that it got the most intense, and we actually called for some exterior intervention from some shamans and some other folks. It was because there was one night that my roommate and I were both sound asleep, and it sounded like a person was drunk and stumbling down our hallway. And then all of a sudden, we both heard this very extreme loud crash. in between our two bedrooms, and we went out, and it was one of the old school like rectangular thermostats on the wall
Okay.
that had clearly been punched into the wall and was shattered in pieces all over the floor.
Ooh.
And then like another thing, I have it up in one of my windows right now, but I had this big, beautiful like stained glass window pane that
Mm-hmm.
kept literally shooting out of the window. And it would not just like drop straight down like you would expect with gravity. It would fly 5 to 6 feet from the window, but somehow
Oh,
it would never shatter. And I mean,
that's so weird.
it was horrifying. And in one of the like final nights as well, I woke up right before it took flight yet again.
Okay.
And I had like all the hair on the back of my neck standing on end. And next thing you know, I'm looking at the window and I watched the stained glass piece go flying 6 feet from where the window was in line with where my head was at the end of my
Oh
bed. And I was like,
boy.
I'm done. I'm done. And
Yeah.
I couldn't go back to sleep that night. And I think it was the next day that we actually had somebody come and
Okay.
help
Work
us
that out.
clear the energies out of the house because it was beyond what we could do with our smudge sticks.
Yeah,
And
probably.
it was
Oh.
intense. So that was the most extreme, but I've lived in a couple other houses with like
Mm-hmm.
smaller quirky stuff. But yeah, that house
Okay.
in Colorado rocked my socks.
Wow, that's interesting. And I see here that AML has also said I've lived in several haunted houses. So it's not anything new. It seems that we're gonna have quite a few stories on Friday. But
Yeah.
so join us on Friday at 7 p.m. We'll be talking with Angela and Kevin. And then at 8 p.m., we will have Melissa coming in to talk about her experiences in her house. So getting back to a more holistic, more friendly aspect. So I've poured my hot, so that's why I was trying to sort of use up time. I poured my
Yeah.
hot water. So I have
Perfect.
my hot water here, so I didn't want to get it too boiling. So I will let you take the reins, Beck, and just sort of guide us through how you want us to go about doing this.
Okay,
Okay.
so if your water is hot and ready, let's go ahead and put your device in your tea. So whether that is a little strainer spoon or
Mm-hmm.
a straining bag, whatever it might be, go ahead and place your petals and your plant medicine in the hot water.
Okay.
And as it is steeping, we're going to go through a couple little embodiment practices to start to prepare our mind and our body. So, first, once you've got that set up, and again, not doing the lemon quite yet, and I would also suggest maybe trying it before adding honey, unless you just know you always like it super sweet, just so you can taste it naturally. But while our tea is steeping, we're going to go ahead and we are going to connect with our third eye through touch. So
Okay.
if you would go ahead and just watch me on the screen for a moment, and then I'll invite you to close your eyes and do the same thing with me, and I'll kind of count it off.
Okay.
But we're
So
going to go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, so I just wanted to sort of get everybody because I know people are probably because I just was reaching for
Oh,
my tea thing here. And
uh-huh.
so I'm just gonna grab my petals. Okay, so you have the same thing then, right? So can we see
Yep.
what you have? Can we see what
Pardon?
you have? You have the same thing, right?
Yep, I've got this is like a little steeper.
Okay.
So I put for me personally, because I wanted a little bit of a heavier serving
Mm-hmm.
tonight, I put Blue Lotus just in one of my little steeper spoons.
Okay.
And then I put my butterfly pea in a second steeper spoon, just
Oh,
because I
okay.
know that my little steeper spoon is not big enough to hold all of the magical elements that I
Oh,
want to put
okay.
in.
All right.
But that's why a little strainer tea bag can be really nice so that you
Mm-hmm.
can have just one. But um,
Yeah.
for
And
the sustainability factor, I love these reusables. They're
yeah.
amazing.
So I'm kind of like, putzing around here. I have my
Yep.
little strainer here. I have like my little blooms. So if you got the kit, you'll see that the little blooms and what they look like. So it's a full flower. And I'm putting it in my tea holder here. I'm just gonna, looks kind of weird. I'm just gonna just sort of pop that in.
Yep.
And
Sometimes
so
it
that's
helps to
kind of
crunch it up
weird.
a little bit so
Crunch it
it
up a
fits in
bit.
there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna just do that. I'm sure people at home are probably pretty much doing the same thing. So I've managed to get it in more or less have one or two little legs sticking out. So I'm going to pop that in. I'm going to pop that in my tea here. And then I will bring it up again to, oh, okay, so something's happening here. And I do have another tea holder. But can I put the pea flowers, just throw them in and have them sort of sink to the bottom? Or, I don't know.
You can. I personally like to also put them in a little strainer.
Yeah.
But
just in case, because I know some people don't have the extra strainers. So for those of us that don't have the, I'm just going to take what I have here. So I'm going to take the, now if you got the kit in the United States, you already have your pea flower and your Blue Lotus stuck together with honey. So you're already going to get a nice sweet treat. But for the rest of us Canadians who got it just straight up, I'm just going to just throw this, some of the pea flowers in. And, you know, again, if you have an extra tea strainer, that's great. If not, actually, I'm just gonna just sort of get another tea strainer and here, I'll be right back. Sorry, guys.
And I know there was a couple friends in the States as well that also either purchased it on their own, or even a couple of you got it directly from me. And so same deal with those, whatever type of apparatus you have for straining purposes will definitely work. So, oh, Crystal, we can't hear you. Is that okay?
Is that it? Okay, so
now I
sorry.
hear you.
Yeah, no, because the cameraman turned the volume down as I went away. But I have another strainer here. I've managed to just sort of dig it up right now. So I'm just going to put my pea flowers in there.
Perfect.
And if you know about the pea flowers, you know that it's going to be very interesting as it soaks.
Yeah, the butterfly PT, it also helps with anxiety.
Okay.
It also helps with, it's an antispasmic and an anti-inflammatory. So it also helps kind of settle the mind and the body at the same time.
Okay, so I'm just sort of doing my thing here.
Oh, I love how your strainer even looks like a pyramid there,
I know.
my friend. That's perfect for the
Why
Blue
not?
Lotus. Yes. I've got like my little pyramid that I brought for today's session just to put here with me as well.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
You see,
yeah.
it's starting to get, you see, that's where it's nice with the pea flower, is that it's starting to get blue. And do we have enough light? Can people see the blueness?
When as it steeps, because it's supposed to steep for about like anywhere between 8 and 12 minutes, the deeper the color will get. And sometimes it can even go almost like a deep emerald green, which is kind of cool, especially with the combination of the Blue Lotus and the butterfly pea. And then you'll see when we do our magic alchemy trick with the lemon here in a few moments, we'll even change the color one more time again. So
yeah, it's really getting quite quite blue in here. Just want to just sort of show it so that people can see against a white background. We have a lot of color here.
Yeah. No, that's perfect because you have a clear glass. So
yeah, I have a clear glass, so you can see there's a lot of
clear.
Yeah. So it's really, really quite blue, and very, very nice. So I'm looking at that. So now that we're letting our tea steep, what's the next step here? So I know you have a next slide in which while the tea is steeping. So what are we looking at here while the tea is steeping?
Totally. So this is where we're going to start to connect with our mind space and our body to start to like welcome the plant medicine before it officially comes to our lips and comes to our inner world. So what I like to do is let's start, like I would suggest getting both of your feet rooted and grounded on the ground underneath you. So if you're sitting cross-legged, if possible, to put your feet, your soles on the ground, uncross your ankles, and really just allow yourself to feel firmly rooted. And let's go ahead, and I want us to bring our hands to our forehead. And if you want to watch first and then repeat after me with your eyes closed, that would be nice. But what we're going to do is first we're going to kind of just stroke our third eye, bringing awareness to that space. So now that you see what we're doing, go ahead and close your eyes. And just intentionally, lovingly, compassionately, imagine that you are just wiping away any clarity, any fog, any dirt off of a sacred mirror, and clearing up the third eye so you can call in your inner vision. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to begin to activate our third eye. And we're now going to gently begin tapping on our third eye. You can choose to do this with multiple fingers. You can choose to do it with both hands. But just going ahead and just lightly again, you are triggering it, you're charging it, you're activating it. And we're beginning to activate our own imagination through visualization. And I'll guide you through some specific words here in a few moments. But just go ahead and yes, it might feel a little silly to do this, but only you can see yourself doing this right now. So just lean into it. And it's like EFT tapping, that when you tap, you're actually calming the nervous system and you're bringing your outer world in and slowing things down. And now let's go ahead and bring our hands to our heart space. And we're just going to begin to feel some of our conscious breath so that we can charge up our pineal gland. So we're going to go ahead and you can close your eyes and I'll guide you through this breath work. So with the eyes closed, go ahead and take a big, deep breath, filling up through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale out the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And inhale again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Final round. Big inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale out the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to do a little bit of a slightly more intense breathing to really activate the pineal gland. It is often called the shaman's breath. So it's where I'm going to keep my hands on my heart because that's when you really feel your breath activating you. And so for this breath, what we're going to do is you breathe in sharply twice through your nose, and then you exhale sharply once through your mouth. So it's like this. So we're going to do this I'm going to set a timer for 30 seconds. So when you're ready, go ahead and start with one big inhalation just to settle yourself. And exhale. And then go ahead and you're doing great. Keep it up. 10 more seconds. One more round. Now close your eyes. Feel your body settling. You might feel a slight buzzing in your body, maybe a little bit of tingliness in your hands. You might even feel a tiny bit dizzy. And what this is because you've just added so much oxygen to your brain that you just flooded your brain with oxygen, allowing it to be bathed and soaked in it. And often when we breathe in our normal waking life, we breathe very shallow and very, very limited. So it's only when we take deep conscious breaths or we do intentional breathing like this that we actually can tap into our deeper inner world just through breath. So go ahead and acknowledge where you feel in this current moment. And then when it feels right, gently open up your eyes. And if you do have a candle present, maybe go ahead and soften the gaze and stare at the flame for a moment. Or if you're watching your incense, watch how the smoke dances up from it. And if you don't have either of those in front of you, go ahead in your mind's eye and visualize it. Watch whether it is the flame or the smoke that is dancing. Watch how it moves, almost like a belly dancer, with sweet fluidity, with the grace of a beautiful feminine body, dancing, moving without inhibition, without judgment. And just imagine yourself coming into that gentle, nourishing, sweet feminine side where you allow yourself to just gently, calmly come back to this space and get ready for us to deepen our experience as we prepare for our final bit of tea preparation, where we allow for the alchemy to begin. So before we squeeze our lemons, I would like for you to think in your mind right now, what in your life would you like to see change forms or to evolve? And go ahead and see that very clearly in your mind's eye with this newest version. Imagine what it looks like, what it feels like, what it smells like, and really tap into all of your senses. And as you're doing that, I want you to go ahead and at this time, you can go ahead and remove your tea steeping devices, tools. You might squeeze your tea bag to get out any extra little love and juice.
Mm-hmm.
I personally love to do that.
Mm-hmm. So
And before squeezing in your lemon, I want you just to go ahead and to hold up your cup and bring your cup to your heart space and feel the warmth of your tea on the backside of your heart for a moment. Feel the warmth. And imagine it already nourishing your third eye and your heart and your soul. And before squeezing the lemon, I want you to visualize a shooting star and think about the wish that you want to see come into fruition. And as you do, imagine watching the shooting star shoot across the night sky, and go ahead and squeeze your lemon into your cup.
Mm-hmm.
And as you do,
yeah,
you
so
should
for those of
see
us who don't have actual
alchemy.
lemon, you can just sort of use one of the crystal packets that I sent you. And yeah, so we can see, actually I have a bit more light here. We can see how blue, actually I'll take the light here and I can hold it behind it. And you
Yes.
can see how, wow, it's a little bit more purpley, purple, you know?
Yeah. So by adding, when you add that lemon, it takes it to an indigo, gorgeous purple color. So that's why I always like to visualize looking at the night sky and when you make a wish on a shooting star.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yep, it goes to such a beautiful deep purple.
Deep purple, yeah. Great band.
So before we consume our tea, I would love just for you to hold it in your hands. And that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that color.
Yeah,
It
it's
came out
really
so
nice.
lovely.
I just want to
Yeah,
just show how the color is.
how
Can you see the
vibrant.
color? Can you just, yeah,
Oh,
there you go.
yep.
Yeah, see how nice and purpley it is. And if you add a bit more lemon, you got to eat, because it's sort of like it's still of a deep purple. And then if you sort of add a bit more lemon, I'm gonna add another lemon packet here, and just see if I get a really nice sort of like neon purple. Purple's my
Yeah.
favorite color. Absolutely, I have so
Yeah.
much.
It can almost
Most
go
of my
like a
clothes are
deep,
purple.
like, yes, it goes like a deep magenta purple-ish almost. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, so
And
I'm
that's
adding
the
that.
alchemy. And so that's where I like to just think about, truly watching your dreams come true, and believing them and seeing them change forms before your eyes. And that's the magic of alchemy.
Oh, There you go.
Mm.
Look how
Mm-hmm.
pretty that is.
It's
It's
gorgeous.
absolutely beautiful. Just going to hold up the paper again just to see
Oh,
how beautiful.
yay.
Look how pretty that is. No? It's absolutely beautiful. So, sorry, I'm busy sort of geeking out on the color. We'll get back to the
I love it. It's
spiritual
one of my
side.
favorite
Sorry.
things to do. So I'm sorry I don't have a clear mug. I'm glad you
No,
do
that's
tonight.
okay.
So before we consume this tea, my friends, go ahead and I want you to bring it back to the heart space. And if you'll close your eyes as you feel the warmth against your heart, and I want you to offer your gratitude to the Blue Lotus spirit for its wisdom and its gentle awakening. Feel the warmth through your hands. This is the heart of the earth and the waters of memory, of ancient memory deep within you. And when you are ready, you can take your first sip with full awareness, but notice its aroma, its flavor, and the sensations as it awakens you from within. Cheers, my sweet friends.
Mm-hmm.
Acknowledge its
Mm,
flavor. I chose to go without any honey today, so
mm-hmm.
mine is definitely on the bitter side,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of in that mood today, so I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
But I'm kind of a sweet, so I'm gonna put some honey.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
guys, there's the honey packet right here. If you got it from the, if you got your pack in the U.S., then you pretty already have a lot of honey already with your flour. But if you got your pack in Canada, there's no honey at all, and apart from the packet. And so I'm just going to add a little bit of honey here. And I think that that's going to sweeten the deal just a little bit for me because there's a
Yes,
lot
it
of
does.
lemon in here. And I put two packets because I was so busy geeking out on the color and I forgot that it's a bit, it was a bit bitter. So I'm going to just
Yeah.
sort of put some of that there. And I'm going to stir that a bit, stir it around. And I'm going to taste it again. And so talk about having sweet dreams, no? So
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
this is
So,
beautiful. I love
well,
this.
and even yeah, while you're sipping on your tea, like
Mm-hmm.
on our next slide, I'm gonna prompt you to go ahead and grab your pen and paper
Mm-hmm.
and just go ahead and write down what comes to your third eye right now. I mean, what immediately pops into your mind? It doesn't matter what it is, just write it down without judgment, without overanalyzing it. You can come back to it later and see if it has a deeper meaning. And then also, once you've kind of like got past the initial what's at the top of the mind, now what do you want to bring into your mind?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to dream into fruition? And be willing to dream big. I'll talk about one of my dreams
Sure.
because I believe when you speak it into fruition, it
Yeah.
does come into fruition. And so, because I'm a lover of plant medicine, I eventually would love to have my own flower farm
Oh.
where I get to grow a bunch of my own medicinal flowers and plants. And I also want to have a community garden for people to learn how to garden medicinal plants and sustainable agriculture and
Mm.
to learn how to be more at one with Mama Gaia. So that is one of my dreams that I
Mm-hmm.
cannot wait to see to come to fruition. But I know I had to plant those seeds in my heart and in my mind
Mm-hmm.
before they'll ever show up in my waking reality. And now I have to have the courage and guts to talk about them because that adds extra fuel to the fire of inspiration and bringing those to
Mm-hmm.
fruition. So Crystal,
Absolutely.
what's one dream you would like to see come to fruition for you?
Wow. Well, this is such a great tea. This I have to say, it's really nice. Like the alchemy was beautiful. Like the color is beautiful
Mhm.
because I'm a purple girl, but also it's really nice. It's refreshing. Like
Yeah,
it's like a refreshing tea.
with the honey,
And the
it's
honey
it's
is really
wonderful.
nice. I have to say it's
Yeah.
really nice. And in terms of my dreams, and I believe that if you speak it into existence, it goes and reverberates out into the universe, and your higher self hears you. The universe hears you. And I have to say that this whole project of the Star Seeds and Lightworkers Collective here on Quantum Portals has been an absolute labor of love. I
Mm.
love the people that I work with. It's not my full-time job just yet, like I still have my day job, but I have two jobs. I have this and I have my day job. And it's been such a beautiful experience, and the people that I've met, people like you and people like Angela Levasseur and Kevin, and some of our members like Kelly and Susan, and some of our people like you know all of our members who come in and are so involved and really sort of take part in everything. It's just so nice to have people who are here and who are involved in all these emails that I get from members. They're saying, "Oh, I'm so glad I found this. It's great. I really enjoy the evenings we have on Wednesday nights, and sometimes we have them on Saturdays as well. And I've met so many interesting guest speakers, and it's just enriched my life, and it's enriched the lives of others. And I would really like, my dream is to just have this whole thing really just take off. Like, I mean, I would like for it to be my full time job. I would like for it to be something that I not only help people, but I also bring knowledge. And I think we're living in a time where it's hard to really sort of connect with people and to find access to the knowledge. Like, yes, there's a lot out there, but to come together as a community, kind of some of your idea with the community garden. It's a community here online, and I would love to be able to sort of travel and meet the members and meet the speakers and get together with people. That for me would be a big dream. So I would love to sort of be the spiritual Oprah,
Yeah.
as it were. Am I too soon?
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love
You
it.
know?
Which is even more pure than Oprah,
Yeah,
which
I
is
know.
possible, girlfriend.
I
It is.
know.
I see you as the great connector already, and it's been like such an honor to connect with you. And I'm like, but
Yeah.
also to connect with all of the topics you share with people. And,
Yeah.
I do see your dream coming to fruition
I
already.
see it
And,
too. I see it too.
I
And
can't wait to see. I cannot wait for both of us to be on a plane, and
I
whether we come to
know.
each other's hometown or we get to meet
Exactly.
somewhere in the middle and we get to hug
Absolutely.
each
I would
other in
love to.
person.
That's the thing. I
Oh,
would love to come and see you and say, okay, we're going to do a show. We're going to talk about your community garden, and we're going to talk
yeah.
about, what you're working on and all that kind of stuff. And I'm there with you. That's the sort of thing I would love to do. Sort of just be, on the scene, and to really sort of meet with the different members and to have a much more enriching experience. Because yes,
I
what
love
we're
it.
doing now is great, but I think it'd be even much more enriching if we were to, let's say, go to your farm and see what you're working on, and
Mm,
see and actually see you in the process of doing one of your ceremonies outside in nature,
mm,
that sort of thing, and inviting people to come and join us. That for me
yeah.
would be like the ultimate dream, and I know that there are also people like Ingrid Navarre, who's working at the Wholeness Center. She has a lot of stuff that she's working on as well. And I know that Bruce, hi Bruce, he's doing stuff with the ET community, and I would just love to meet all these people. This would be my dream, and to bring it to everybody. Maybe not weekly, because at this point you're traveling around, but every 2 weeks or something like that, to really bring like good quality shows and everything. So that's what I'd like to see happen. So putting all my dreams into tea. You know.
Cheers to you,
Cheers
babe.
to you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
Clink clink.
We're making our dreams happen,
Exactly.
speaking them into fruition. Well,
And
and with that, we'll jump to the next slide because I'm going to give everybody on here some
mhm.
prompts actually for
Okay.
some journaling and reflection to think about after this. And also, even, when you wake up tomorrow, because you'll notice that the Blue Lotus can linger in the
Mhm.
mind and body and the heart space for sometimes up to 2 days, even though you're not going to feel like hypnotic or like sleepy for 2 days.
Mhm.
The spiritual
The
benefits
effects.
can
Yeah.
last for a little while. So, think right now and like close your eyes even for a moment
Mm,
and feel within you what sensations or emotions are arising within you when you first connected with the Blue Lotus. Were you like tasting something that was like completely foreign, or did it taste oddly familiar? Did that bitterness awaken your senses, or did it like calm your senses? Did the sweetness, taste like a touch of dessert? Or, what sensations did you feel within your body when you first connected with the Blue Lotus? And then also begin to think about what messages or if any symbols came through your intuition, whether it's as this conversation has been taking place, jot down even a couple words, or maybe when we get off or when we do our
mm-hmm,
closing like meditation, you might see something, or in the dream space. Like I said, even if it's when you wake up and you only write down 2 words and those 2 words don't seem to make sense in that moment,
mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. Write them down. And then the next morning, write them down again and
Yeah.
just continue to tap in with the dream space.
Yeah. Can I just sort of
Please.
I have here from Kelly, because
Mm.
Kelly, you're the best, Kelly. You're just absolutely
I
the
love
best.
you,
Hi,
Kelly.
Kelly. Hi, Kelly. And she says here it kind of tastes like dandelion root tea. I have to admit, it's true. It does have a bit of,
Yep.
because it's floral, right? The dandelions are
Yep.
floral. But also, Kelly says here that her dream is I want to astral travel to another planet or a three eye atlas. I have the OBE with no out of body experiences with no issues, but getting off the Earth realm is a challenge. So you
Mm.
know what? I think that Kelly, you could probably use this tea from time to time to help you
Yep.
to maybe move further along your abilities in terms of astral traveling and doing out of body experiences. Like I said, let's not use it as a crutch, but use it as a way to help you from time to time to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. And I think that would be great. So cheers, Kelly.
Yes. I like to call it a spiritual tool in your spiritual toolkit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And yes, and Kelly, it's because of the fact that it is just, you know, almost melting away those layers of those boundaries, those constrictions that sometimes we feel in that box that we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That sometimes, like if your astral travel box felt like it was strictly dimensional only to Earth, ask the tea to help you get beyond Earth and make that your intention before going to the dream space.
Mm-hmm.
And, ask to be able to be transported to another dimension, another realm, another time, another place, and see where the dreams take you.
Yeah.
And I know how powerful you are, my dear friend. And, just call on your inner power and trust the internal wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
I really, when you set your mind to something, you'd be surprised at how powerful it really is.
Yeah. And so as we continue to sip the tea, I guess we can just sort of continue to sort of look at our inner visions, what we want to have
Yeah.
expressed, that sort of thing. Yeah.
And there's just like a couple other journal question prompts
Mm-hmm.
that I would suggest writing down is, what is the truth that is blooming within you right now? Because sometimes something like this might actually bring something to the surface that you might not have had awareness of, or it might all of a sudden spark a new creative idea, something that feels like it came out of the left side of the sky or the world. And it's when you are inspired, it means that you actually have spirit within you. So like be inspired, call the wisdom deep within you and feel and ride that inspiration.
Yeah.
So, and then what does your inner vision want to be expressed, whether that is through art, through writing, through sound, through symbolism, whatever it might be, like as once our time is coming to an end here, once we're done with the call, you don't have to be done with your internal time after this. Like I would really strongly suggest taking at least minimum 10 to 15 minutes to yourself to do a creative outlet or a creative art outlet. or to just do automatic writing or to listen to a sound bath or something along those lines would be really nice.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great. Wow. That's amazing.
So,
Yeah. And I mean, so how's everybody else feeling? Anybody else want to, I'm looking at the comments here, and I hope that people are having a good time and learning a lot from this, because I know I am. And this is really very special and spiritual, I'm really glad that we're able to share this with you. If you have any comments, put the comments in the comments below the video. I mean, in live chat, you can do that. But if you want, you can come back later on, either tomorrow once it's recorded, tomorrow or the day after or 2 days later or the end of the week, and just to share with us what you've experienced. Did you experience anything while you were sipping the tea? And what came to you? Did you do some journaling? And what some of the ideas that you came up with and some of the dreams that you have? And tell us what your dreams are and how you feel. Love to hear it. And yeah, this is a really good tea. I think next time I'm gonna put a big dollop of maple syrup.
oh.
I think Kelly also
Love
said she put too much lemon. Me too. I like tart, but I'm like, ooh, okay.
it. Yes. Love it. Well, and a shout out as well to my fellow Michiganders who are
Oh, there
on
you
the call
go.
tonight and some of my other USA folks,
Oh, there you go.
appreciate you all from
Hmm.
all stretches of the globe, wherever you may be, for being here with us. That is the joy of being able to do these circles online and just, connecting. So please, any comments, we would love to hear them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm still sort of, drinking my tea and sort of enjoying it, and this is absolutely just beautiful. I really enjoying this. I really am. And I
Yeah.
know that after we I'm going to have a couple more sips, and then I think after that I guess we're going to also sort of like close it down and do some movement, as it
Mhm.
were. So I'm just going to sort of take another sip or two. And can you tell us a little bit more, just while I'm taking some sips? Tell us a little bit more about some of the work that you do at Transcendance, vibrational transcendence, just so people can know who you are. Because I think you also offer, like, treatments and healings of like online as well, right? It's not just in person. You do other things too, right? You want to just sort of let our members know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for that time and space. So, yeah, my business is Vibrational Transcendance. I'm a firm believer that, frequency and vibrations can really affect us on a deeper level, even subconsciously. But I also really learned through my spiritual awakening and journey and healing through a lot of my trauma that once I started to do intuitive dance and I just like closed down my eyes and just started literally dancing with the flow of things, that my mind and body would be transported elsewhere and I could have experiences that were like super deep within this lifetime, but also like seeing visions of past lifetimes and beyond. And so I really feel that, like, there's different practices, as I said earlier, that through embodiment and somatic movements that you can really get different levels of healing and a lot more than just traditional talk therapy, or at least that was the case for me. And so what I've learned is that I have gone through and I've done training for Reiki as well as healing touch. I have done certifications for sound healing, so I have a wide variety of instruments, including gongs, tuning forks, handpan, chimes, singing bowls, both crystal and like Tibetan bowls. I'm a big dork over just sound and literally movement. I also have done a lot of different like inner warrior dances with people. I've done inner child dance parties, both virtually and in
Mm-hmm.
person. One of my last events that we just hosted was a Rising Phoenix event, and it was a Rising Phoenix ceremony in combination with a fire ceremony. So that was like incredibly powerful to literally write up the things that we want to release and alchemize and throw them into the fire and be witnessed by the group, and to dance around and stomp and like get very visceral with it. So what I've learned is just, yeah, like sometimes while having some nice nourishing practices like that are deeply relaxing, like Reiki, that can be very powerful, but so can movement and breath and visualizations. So I like to take people on journeys. Whatever their heart is needing in the moment is where we go. So I often will have my clients fill out a questionnaire so that I can see exactly what they're seeking. And then we set them up on a journey. I also, like in person, I'll do crystal grid work with people, which is a lot of fun. So I'll have like different crystal grids, like that wooden
Oh,
one
that's
behind
nice.
me, the circle of life, and like
Yeah.
a lot of others. And I have a ton of crystals that people get to choose from, and I just have them intuitively choose what crystals. And then afterwards, I do a whole crystal reading with them based on the stones that they chose. And it often really aligns with like their subconscious. And so that's a lot of fun. And then I also help host different retreats around the US right now, and hopefully internationally at some point sooner than later. So
We'll
it's
work
been a lot
together.
of,
We'll work
yeah,
together.
girl.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun to just bring people together in community to show them that you can also have safe healing experiences within community, and to be seen by your community and celebrated by your community. So,
Yeah.
often it's like one person is on a pedestal and we're all just listening or being lectured to. And a lot of my practices are very much about like co-activation of each other. Like it's a
Yeah.
lot about like everybody sharing their parts of the story, because it's not just about me. It's about the magic that everybody has. And it's like when we have these big circles, it's like everybody is their own ingredient in a sacred recipe. And we all have to be together to create the alchemy of that experience for each other. And without the black pepper, or without the black pepper, the turmeric is not activated. So
Exactly.
it's like you literally, sometimes we really need each other more than we
Yeah.
realize. And sometimes we need a stranger to say something that sparks something within us. And so that's why I feel that like having in-person events and retreats are really
Yeah.
powerful as well. So I
Very
love
much so.
one-on-one work, but I really love community work as well. And a lot of people in the healing modality like to focus a lot on like sacred feminine or sacred masculine, for instance. And I'm a dork for the sacred inner child, because I'm all about, I want us to play, I want us to be in bliss, I want us to find our joy. And I like to consider myself like the fire starter. I'm the
Yeah.
activator. So, like if you feel like your fire has been put out, I would love to help you restoke it and get your bonfire blazing again, because you deserve to have
Yeah.
that in your life.
Exactly. Yeah, and that definitely, on that note, for sure, because I think that in the society, excuse me, our fire is often extinguished because we are being forced into a box. We're forced to sort of do or live a life a certain way. And I'd like to think that some of the work that people like you are doing and some of the other presenters are doing and is something that we can come together at one point. And one of those dreams is to sort of have events where we bring, presenters together and we work together and connect, And at some point, I know that we're talking about it here because we're looking at having technical upgrade to our technicals. So what we're doing here, we'd like to take in calls and have people talk and really sort of like be a part of what sharing you know so we're looking into doing that at some point, but for now this is where we're at. But and then next year we are going to be meeting in Toronto. We were supposed to meet in Toronto this year, but it didn't work out, so we are going to be meeting in Toronto next year, next May. I think it's May 16th. And so we're going to be meeting in Toronto, and we are going to be hopefully getting together. I'll be working with Angela Levasseur to sort of bring this whole event together. So I'm really looking forward to that. And we're going to be bringing together a number of people and presenters and bringing members together. So that's going to be good. So if you can, yeah, put it in your calendar. We hope to see you next year, and next year as well. Bec will be coming back to talk about sound healing. So she's going to be coming back to another presentation on sound healing. I'm really looking forward to that. So sort of stay tuned. We have, and also for people who are, booking little events, we've added a whole bunch of new events coming up in the next couple of months. So check out what we have coming up. We have a lot. We're booked right up until May, actually. It's crazy, but we're booked until May, and we have a lot of good, interesting, cool ideas. If you are someone who wants to do a presentation and you're someone who's well versed in what it is that you're working with, send me an email as well, and maybe we can talk about you coming onto the show and doing a presentation. So, without further ado, I think that we can go to, I guess, to the last slide. Let's invite some movement here, and
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
So yeah, basically the reason why I would like us to invite in a little bit of movement is because it will help kind of that medicine really go through your whole body and allows you to embody the medicine. So what we're going to do is we will start by standing up. If it is safe and comfortable in your space, I will invite you to please go ahead and begin to gently close down the eyes. And as you're here, go ahead and bring your hands to your side. Go ahead and roll your shoulders back, bringing your heart forwards. And just take a couple deep breaths. Maybe even pick up one foot at a time and replace it back down on the earth, feeling yourself a little more rooted and grounded. And I want you to go ahead and gently just begin to rotate your body around a little bit, swaying from side to side, bringing the arms around the body gently. Some people call this the Zen swing, arm swing, or Tai Chi arm swing. If you have the space or the energy for it, increase those movements a little more, make them a little faster. Allow the arms to actually kind of gently hit the body. When you're hitting it on the front, you're hitting the side body. When you're hitting on the back, you're gently tapping on the kidney area. Go ahead and just feel this. Feel it all the way down into the ankles, into your shoulders rotating. Really feel it. And again, remember, allow us to be judgment free. Nobody is there to see you. This is just for you. And then go ahead, and I want us to begin tapping our body. So take your hands and tap all the way down your legs and back up your legs. Tapping up the side bodies, gently up the belly and the heart space. Gently tap down each arm. Flip the arm over and tap back up. Across the heart space, and then tap back down the other arm. Flip that arm up and tap back up. Even gently patting yourself on the back. We carry a lot of weight on our shoulders and in between our shoulders, so really give your shoulders some love. Even brush off energetically any extra weight you've been carrying. And although this seems like minor movement, it's actually so good for your energy field, for your auric field, for your physical body, as you awaken the nervous system and you tell it it is safe, because you wouldn't be doing this in a place where you didn't feel safe. So you're really kind of also triggering yourself and getting yourself ready for that deep relaxation and the bedtime or the journaling time or art. Just again, brushing fronts of the legs, back of the legs. And then I want you to go ahead and we're going to create a lotus with our hands. And first, we're going to go ahead and put it at our heart space. We're just going to close our eyes here and breathe into this lotus. And imagine with each breath, as you breathe in, you watch your lotus close a little. But with each exhale, you watch it open petal by petal. And even do that movement with your hands. If you need to see me for reference, you can. As I breathe in, it closes. As I breathe out, it expands. Opening and closing your inner lotus. And going ahead and allowing that lotus now to bring that lotus up to the third eye. Opening and closing it with your breath. And imagine physically seeing an eye in the middle of your forehead. And imagine it slowly opening and it's slowly closing and blinking. And visualize it again, slowly opening and slowly closing. And then bring the lotus to the top of the head and imagine that you are wearing it as a crown on top of your head. Stand up nice and tall. And imagine feeling and seeing a beam of white light coming in from source energy above, coming straight through the lotus in your hands, straight through your crown chakra, filling up the whole top of your head with light, filling up your third eye with light. Imagine it continuing down into your throat chakra and into your heart space, filling your whole upper body with light. And it continues down from the heart space into the solar and into the sacral and into the root chakras. And imagine that light going down both of your legs, connecting at the bottom of your feet, the soles of your feet on the ground underneath you. And imagine feeling the soul to soul connection with Mama Gaia underneath you, under your soles of your feet. And really visualize a white pillar of light moving through your whole body. And then call that energy back up from your feet, up through the ankles, up through the knees, through the quads, through the hips, through the base chakra, through the sacral chakra, and the solar, encompassing all of your inner organs, coming up into the heart space, coming up into the throat, the third eye, and back to the crown, feeling this pillar of light meeting you back at your hands at the energy above your head. And then gently separate your hands. And if you can see me for a moment and visualize pulling this energy slowly down like a beautiful fluffy blanket of clouds down over your whole body. Imagine yourself just being wrapped in warmth and this loving energy, taking it all the way to the ground. And then imagine scooping it back up from the ground one more time and circling your arms all the way up and bringing it back down one more time and having your hands meet in your heart space. And if you'll just close your eyes here for a moment, and I ask you to take a couple deep final breaths with me, breathing in through the nose and gently exhaling out the mouth. And this time, let your sighs be a little more audible. So we'll breathe in again through the nose and really sigh it out. You're done with your day. Final deep inhale. And really let it out. With your eyes closed, maybe wiggle. Give yourself a little body, a little shake, a little shimmy. Kind of allowing that energy to come back in. And then go ahead and bring your hands to your heart and close your eyes for one final time here. I want you to feel the energy of the Blue Lotus settling into your heart space. It is a soft, radiant light that is expanding within. May the wisdom of this plant continue to unfold for you in your dream world, in your intuition, and in your waking life. May your path be guided by clarity, by love, and by divine vision. With gratitude, we will be closing this circle, my friends, and honoring the spirit of the Blue Lotus and the beauty that resides within each and every single one of us. And while we are here, we're just going to go ahead and I will close out the circle, and then we will have any final questions. So if you can either direct your intention and energy towards the direction of the south, or you can just stay internal where you are. To the winds of the south, great serpent, thank you for showing us the peaceful way to release anything that was no longer serving us in this moment. We also thank you for connecting with the element of fire that is deep within us, just like the mighty phoenix waiting to be reborn, knowing that we too can alchemize things and we can dream things into fruition when we let go of what no longer serves us, so that we make room for expansiveness for our new dreams to fill those voids. We appreciate you, the winds of the south. You will turn towards the west. To the winds and the waters of the west, Mother Jaguar, thank you for teaching us to walk with bravery and courage through the great unknown, and trusting in ourselves to ask the question, how good can it get? And to believe that we can dream fearlessly, but also knowing that when we connect with the depths of the water, that we too can rise back to the surface, just like the lotus did, from the deep, darky, murky places full of density. We can rise and become lighter and lighter and lighter as we reach the surface and we find our way back to clarity and vision and a fresh perspective, as we also can allow ourselves to unfold one petal at a time, just like the blue lotus stretching towards the sun above. We thank you to the waters and the winds of the west. And to the north, to the winds of the north, to the hummingbird, to all of those who came before us and those who will come after us. Thank you for teaching us to fly with joy, purpose, and passion under our wings and to chase our dreams. We know that as we dream big and we speak our words into fruition, that it is then that they can actually have the invitation to show up in our waking reality. So we thank you for teaching us, like the hummingbird, to make the great migration towards our dreams, but also to know when to hover and when to observe our situations, or even when to retreat out of things that are no longer in our greatest alignment, as we are connected with the element of air here, and we are done fighting the storms, but we are actually ready to ride the winds of change with more grace and with more ease. We thank you to the winds of the north. To the east, to the winds of the east, to the eagle, to the condor. Thank you for taking us under your wing and allowing us to fly wingtip to wingtip with the great spirit above. But also thank you for the moments that as we are walking on the element of earth, that when we are having a hard time seeing exactly the path ahead of us, that we know that we can look up to the skies and see our feathered and winged friends, whether they are birds or angels. And we will be reminded that we are indeed exactly where we are meant to be, as they see the whole big picture and they are giving us the signs and synchronicities from divine source that you are exactly on your correct path. So keep putting one step ahead of the other and having trust and faith that you are exactly where you are meant to be in this present moment. Thank you to the winds of the east. You'll take your hands or intentions towards the sky. Divine Source, Father Sky, Mother Moon, Ascended Masters, Guides, Angels, past loved ones, and higher self. We thank you all for being here with us during this time together, not only in our waking life, but also in the dream space, keeping us protected and allowing us to create our own inner sanctuary. We thank you for the guidance and the wisdom and the messages that have came or that are yet to come in the days and weeks ahead, in the waking reality and in the dream space. Thank you for our inner vision and our inner intuition turning on and opening and blossoming, just like the Blue Lotus deep within our heart. Thank you to our friends and our cosmic allies. And if you'll take your hands towards the earth, here we thank Pachamama, Mama Gaia, for keeping us rooted and grounded while we did this work here today, and as we continue in the days and weeks ahead, as you continue on your healing journey. Thank you for allowing us to release anything to the cores of her earth, knowing that she's the great alchemizer and she will compost anything that we release, allowing for new life and new forms of abundance to come up in her beautiful gardens, and allowing us to create our own beautiful sanctuary in heaven on earth, in the places that we call home and where we feel safe. We appreciate you for giving us an opportunity to create our own safe space. Thank you, Mama Gaia. And lastly, if you'll wrap yourself in one big final hug of the evening. Thank you for taking the time and space to be with us here today, to honor yourself, to honor your inner vision, your intuition, and your great awakening. As more souls are opening up their minds and hearts together, we know we are growing together more powerfully as a massive collective. And I thank each of you for being part of the strings of the spider web that are connecting us all here today. From my heart and the light within me, I honor you, I see you, and I appreciate each and every one of you. From my heart and my inner lotus to yours, nothing but love, my friends. Aho.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And it was so beautiful to have this experience with you. And I just want to say thank you for coming back and for sharing this beautiful wisdom with us. And I know that people are going to really enjoy this because this is being recorded, so people will be able to come back and do their own ceremony on their own time. So that's pretty good. And again, on our last slide here, we can see people, if you want to reach out, you can reach out to Bec at her website and contact her if you have any questions. And yeah, just reach out to her. Thank you so much, Bec, for being with us this evening. I really appreciate it. It was a beautiful evening and very flavorful and magical and colorful. And we look forward to seeing you again next year when we do your sound healing. So that will be really, really nice. And I wanted to say thank you to all our members who were here tonight, who took part and who had their kit and took part in the ceremony. Really, really glad that you were here with us this evening. And don't forget, we're going to be back again this Friday. We're going to be having a Halloween special, so come and join us if you want to talk about your own Halloween to-dos and your own Halloween experiences. Looking forward to seeing you. And if you have any questions as well for the show, get in touch with me, send me an email. We're on meetup.com. So we're at the Star Seeds and Light Workers Collective on meetup.com. So reach out to me there. And if you have any questions, send them to me. So again, thank you so much, everybody, for being here this evening. I really appreciate your connection and your involvement. I really absolutely appreciate it. And I wanted to say thank you back so much for being with us. You're absolutely a true gem, a diamond. and absolutely lotus flower as well. So thank you so much for being with us, and we look forward to seeing you again. And keep in touch with us and let us know some of the things that you're working on. As well as I've told people, starting in January, we're going to be having a newsletter. So I'll be letting people know you can get on our list, and you can get our newsletter and find out some of the stuff that people are working on. And if you are a member and you're working on something exciting, you can also contribute to the newsletter and get it out there as well. So looking forward to doing that with everybody next year. Until then, thank you so much, everybody, for being with us. Thank you so much, Bec, for being with us. Absolutely love you. Thank you. Sending you love and light. Love and light.
So much
And
fun.
and we'll see everybody on Friday of this week. Okay, so you take care, everyone, and see you soon.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.